Stop scrolling for a second. Imagine this.
Your brain
Everyone
isn't
around
missing
you
out,
is
it's
doing the
protecting your freedom.
newest viral dance, posting the latest challenge, flexing their trendy gadgets, and there you are, sitting back, sipping your coffee, thinking, meh, not today. And somehow people assume you're missing out, or worse, boring. But here's the secret. They have it all backwards. People who never join trends aren't missing anything. They're operating on a completely different level of life psychology, and the way their brains work might just make the rest of us rethink everything we thought we knew about cool. See, trends are basically the social equivalent of a neon sign screaming, "Follow me!" And most of us, our brains wired for belonging, hear that and instinctively say yes. But for some people, that neon sign triggers something else, resistance. Not just stubbornness, not just rebellion, psychological reactance. When these folks sense that their freedom to choose is being nudged, pushed, or even subtly manipulated, their brain goes into full "nope, not today" mode. It's the same part of your mind that makes forbidden cookies taste better, and that makes teenagers stay up past curfew. Freedom is delicious, and trends can feel like tiny little threats to it. But here's where it gets fascinating. Not everyone who avoids trends is a contrarian trying to be edgy or ironic. There's a huge difference between people who say no because they want to oppose and people who say no because they genuinely don't care. Contrarians are externally motivated. Their identity is built around rejecting what others do. Authentic non-participants are internally motivated. Their choices come from personal values, interests, and curiosity, completely independent of social pressure. One reacts, the other operates on their own wavelength. That's why the same viral TikTok that has your friends dancing in their living rooms might barely register to them. To them, it's just another song, or video, or app. They are free. Now, some might think, isn't resisting trends just another trend? And yes, there's actually a thing called the hipster paradox, where trying too hard to be different ends up making everyone the same. But true trend resistors, the ones who don't care at all, avoid this trap effortlessly. They aren't performing for anyone. They don't need validation from likes, shares, or follower counts. Their joy comes from living life on their own terms, not someone else's algorithm. Psychologists have also noticed something else about these people. They tend to have low self-monitoring. They're not constantly reading the room, checking social cues, or measuring how their choices will be perceived. Trends hold almost no sway because social validation isn't their compass. They operate on internal settings, what feels authentic, interesting, or fun to them, not what's popular. And this, ironically, often leads to higher life satisfaction. They aren't stressed about keeping up. They aren't trapped in FOMO, and they don't need external approval to feel content. Here's where humor and inspiration sneak in. These trend-independent humans often become the unsung innovators and observers of life. Historically, societies needed people like this. When the entire tribe rushed to hunt the left, someone had to wander right, check the mountains, discover new lands, or occasionally run into bears. Their brains, sometimes linked to genes associated with novelty-seeking, risk-taking, and social independence, are wired to explore life outside the mainstream. They balance the group. They provide alternative perspectives, and they quietly preserve options that everyone else overlooks. In a way, trend resistors may have saved humanity from groupthink disaster more than once. But it's not all heroics. Being a trend resistor comes with its own quirks. Humans are social creatures, after all. When everyone is sharing a cultural moment and you opt out, there's a subtle trade-off: connection. Missing the viral meme, the trending show, the Spotify-wrapped conversation, these small moments create communal bonds. Some non-participants navigate this gracefully. picking what they engage with selectively while skipping the rest, hitting that sweet spot of intentional participation. The rest simply enjoy being fully themselves and accept that a few social inside jokes might pass them by. Now, let's talk about mindset, because this is where positivity and humor shine. People who ignore trends often laugh at the absurdity of mass participation without cynicism. They see the humor in 100 people doing the same dance in unison, or posting the exact same photo with the exact same caption. It's not judgment, it's amusement, perspective, and freedom from unnecessary pressure. Life isn't a popularity contest to them. Life is a playground, and trends are just swings that may or may not interest them. And here's the most inspiring part. Trend-independent people teach a subtle life lesson without ever saying a word. They remind the rest of us that authenticity isn't a performance, that joy isn't measured in views, and that freedom is a state of mind. They show us that happiness isn't about hopping on every cultural wave, but about riding the waves that genuinely resonate with you. It's a quiet, elegant rebellion against conformity, a blueprint for intentional living, and a way to reclaim mental space in a noisy, overstimulated world. So, what's the takeaway? People who never join trends aren't better, smarter, or colder. They're differently wired, often happier in their choices, and sometimes more resilient in the face of social pressure. They help us see that authenticity is measured internally, not externally. That skipping the latest viral challenge doesn't make you boring. It can make you free. And that sometimes the wisest people aren't the ones leading the herd. They're the ones walking their own path quietly, with a smile, and occasionally just enjoying a life that's entirely theirs. Next time you see someone scroll past the hottest challenge or politely decline the latest social fad, don't judge. They're not missing out. They're showing the rest of us a map to freedom, humor, and self-respecting happiness. And maybe, if you pay attention, you'll start taking a few notes. Because living intentionally, laughing at absurdity, and refusing to bow to peer pressure, that's not just psychology, that's a philosophy worth sharing, laughing about, and re-watching to absorb fully.